Hello guys, today I'm going to walk you through the Canadian student visa application process. I'll be explaining to you all the forms and documents that you need to submit to get your visa application process done fast, and I'll be giving you some tips such that it'll really speed your visa application process. So without further ado, just let's start the video. So the first thing that you need to remember is that there are certain specifications for each and every form which are there on the CIC website. So if a certain section requires me to elaborate on the specifications, I won't go in depth. I've just left the the links to the specifications in the description box below. I'll be mentioning it as I come to those specifications. Okay, so the visa application is split into around three parts. The first part is the application form. The second part is the academic documents. The third part is the financials, which is a very tricky part. And the fourth part is the miscellaneous and other documents that you'll be requiring, which are optional, but you should provide them if you want to get your visa a bit more faster. Okay, so let's start with the first part, the application forms. So the first form is the IMM 1294E. This is your main application for study permit made outside of Canada. So the form looks something like this. You will get it as a PDF. You have to fill it up, and after you filled up the entire form, make sure you have not left any question blank, because if you have done that, then that might create a problem in your visa application process. So remember to fill in all the sections and answer all the questions. No matter which form it is, just answer all the questions. If there is some question that doesn't pertain to you, then just write NA or not applicable. But remember to fill up all the sections. And after you filled up all the section in the IMM 1294E form, just click on the validate button. And on doing so, an extra page will be appended to your application form, which will contain all the barcodes. It looks similar to this. Something similar to this. After you've done that, just have the entire document printed out. Now remember, this is very crucial because you need to print this out using a laser printer, because any gaps in printing or uneven color printing on the barcode page is going to cause a lot of problems, and your barcode is not going to be detected the day you submit your visa application. So that is going to create unnecessary hassles for you. So I'm telling you beforehand, just use a laser printer to print this to be on the safe side. After you filled up this document, just sign it and get this done with. The second form is an IMM 5957E. This is a form for university students. If you're not a university student or you are attending some other college in Canada, then you will get a separate form for this. It's basically a checklist. You will actually get all this application forms and all in an application kit in the CIC website. So for me, I have applied to a university, so the form looks something like this. It has all checklists and it has some study permit questionnaires. And another form is there called the family information form. So you need to fill up that as well. So the family information form is IMM 5645E. You got to fill that up. You got to write about your parents' occupation, their primary source of income, their email addresses, their phone numbers, their work addresses, etc. About all that. Again, remember about filling all these forms, do not leave any section blank. If it doesn't apply to you, write not applicable. If it means writing 10 places, writing not applicable in 10 places, do that. Write not applicable wherever it doesn't apply to you. So after you finished with your study permit application form, your family information form, and your study permit questionnaire form, the fourth thing that you need to consider is the medical examination. So I would suggest that you take the medical examination beforehand, before even filing your visa, because this thing is going to speed up your visa visa application process. If you have taken your medical examination beforehand, it consists of 4 or 5 basic tests, like the blood test, the chest X-ray, the full body checkup, a personal consultation, and all that stuff. So another thing that you need to remember is that you can't just get these tests done by any physician. You have to get them done by doctors who are impaneled to the CIC. So if they are impaneled, only then you can get yourself tested by those doctors only. So I've left a link in the description box below, um, where you can find the doctors in your area, and you can get yourself checked by them. So after your medical examination is done, it is just a process of around 1 day, takes around 1 day. So after your medical examination is done, they will give you a print sheet which has to be stamped by them, and it will contain a number. So you have to provide a photocopy of that sheet that they provide in your visa application form, in your visa application like bunch. You have to give that form. So with that medical examination form, they can actually log into the medical examination portal and see all your reports from there. So make sure you take the medical exam earlier, and provide the photocopy of the form with your entire application. So with this, the part one, the application forms section, comes to an end. So the second part is the the academic documents. So in the academic documents, you need to first show your official, like, admission confirmation letter to the Canadian university. You have to provide um, a photocopy of your TOEFL or your IELTS score. So IELTS is generally preferred, but if you have taken the TOEFL, it's just fine, because for my case, I had taken the TOEFL, and yeah, my visa application had no hassles at all. So like, if you have taken the TOEFL, I would just recommend that write a separate cover letter, and in that just outline and write about that you have you have taken the TOEFL examination as an alternative to the IELTS, and so that the visa officer may just consider that fact. And you have to provide all your academic transcripts, your passing certificates, and your degree certificates uh, in the as a proof of academic documents. So suppose you don't have your degree conferred yet, or you are still awaiting results, you may make sure that you write about that as well in your cover letter. So with this, the academic section also comes to a close. So the third part is about your financials. So this is a very tricky part. So if you have got your admission letter, the admission letter will actually point out how much is your tuition fee, whether you will be given a study permit or a work permit, and your designated institution learning code number and all that will be just mentioned in your admission letter. So based on the tuition fee, if you have got any scholarship, you have to provide a photocopy of the scholarship letter from the college for your visa application. If you have not got a scholarship, that's also fine. In that case, you have to show around 6 months of bank statements signed by the bank manager. You have to give your income tax receipts. You have to give around your salary slips for 3 to 4 months. Uh, then you have to get a certificate from the bank stating when your account was opened, what is your account number, and the current standing balance in that account. It's preferable that you have all the amount that is in your account mentioned in Canadian dollars as well. Mention the conversion date and the conversion rate of that day. Ask your bank officials to do that for you. I would highly recommend that you get all the financial work done by a chartered accountant and give him all the documents so that he may certify that and give you a certificate which you will provide with your visa application. If you have done everything via a chartered accountant, then the process again speeds up a lot, because then they won't really have to go through and dig deep in like all your financial documents, because they will always refer to the CA certificate first and check it thoroughly. So that will save you a lot of time. Secondly, the thing that needs to be noted here is that if you're not earning and you don't have a job and you're still like a student and you're going there to a master's degree, so like you will have somebody that who's sponsoring you, like maybe your mom or your dad or your uncle, auntie, anybody. So if somebody is sponsoring you, that person has to provide you a affidavit of support on a 20 rupee stamp paper. He has to write how much money he's wanting to give for your education and living purpose in Canada while you stay in Canada. So I have also provided the format of the letter, uh, which you need to print in a stamp paper and get it signed in front of the judge. So like I've given the format on my in the link description below. You will find the format. You need to provide that. You need to, if you have a sponsor, then you need to show his salary certificates, his income tax receipts, and all the other documents pertaining to the bank and his finances as well. So now coming to the safe amount. So for the safe amount, you need to show 2 years of living expense plus your tuition fee for 2 years. If you are able to show this much, that is more than sufficient. Trust me, guys, because this is more than sufficient. Usually they ask for 1 year tuition fee and living expense, but in some cases I have seen one of my friends getting a reject because of the financial thing, and when he kind of refiled his visa showing 2 years of living expense and tuition cost, it was kind of accepted. And for me as well, I've just shown proof of around 2 years of living expense and tuition cost. That will just suffice. If you are taking a loan from any bank, just provide the loan letter as well. So with this, the financial section also comes to a close. Just one more point I want to repeat again: have all your finances, if possible, mention the Canadian equivalent of all your finances in the documents as well. Ask your chartered accountant to mention that. Ask your bank officials to mention that. If your bank officials are kind of not willing to mention it, even that's fine. But like, to be on the safe side, just mention the Canadian equivalent of the amount you're showing. Makes the process a bit more easy. So you need to provide. So with this, I'll start with the optional documents. You need to provide a cover letter. If you're having any exceptions with the process, you need to write what are the exceptions and why you are not why you are unable to provide those documents, or why there is some kind of exception. You need to explain that in your cover letter. You and also you need to carry some photocopies of your passport if you, because in the visa application process, at each stage you will be needing a photocopy of your passport. So like, just keeps some of them, like 4 or 5 photocopied, and that will do the job. So you'll require 4 to 5 copies of photographs as well. So there are specific specifications for photographs. I have again left the photographs specifications down in the description box below. So they need to be passport size photographs, and then it needs to be in a black, it needs to be in a white background, and all the other details you will just find it in the link description below. So that is the entire thing about the visa application process. Now, if you have any other questions regarding the visa filing process, or you feel that I have left out some information, just let me know and use the comment section below to write your comments. I would be quick to answer them. And if I feel some questions need to be answered, I'll even take up a separate video to answer those questions. And I hope this video helps you a lot. And all the best for your visa application.